we have gathered here for the second time to discuss the use of Buddhism in our life. And we have gathered some youngsters. As I said, this is a seminar of Buddhism for the young. Young, I just do not mean only young in age. There are so many young fellows here. But we all can be young mentally, the youth. The main factor of being young is we are active both physically and mentally, alert, active, creative, and also revolutionary. Normally young people do not believe all what the tradition says or the parents says, the elders say. They are independent in their own thinking. Therefore, although I meant Buddhism for the young, it is meant not only for the young in age, but even for the old who are young in their heart. And when I say use of Buddhism, these young students may have studied Buddhism as a subject. And they know the use of biology. They know the use of sports. They know the use of many things. But what is the use of Buddhism? That is what we are going to discuss today. Before going into that subject, we have to find out what Buddhism is. The Pali word Buddhi means wisdom. Therefore, if we have a correct translation of Buddhism, it can be said to be Wisdomism. Wisdom is not confined to the so-called Buddhists. There can be wise Christians, wise Catholics, wise Muslims, wise Zoroastrians, wise Hindus, and anybody, even without a religion, can be wise. That means wisdom is a capacity within us. And what is the criterion of wisdom? If you are wise, we can be happy. Wisdom is always related to happiness, and happiness is always related to wisdom. Which happiness means real happiness. It depends on your intelligence, your capacity, your wisdom. Therefore, use of Buddhism is the use of being wise. And there is no question, wisdom is very useful to us. And wisdom is not coming from outside. That's another thing. Now, these young students, they get their knowledge from outside, from teachers, from books, from the internet. But wisdom, they are born with wisdom. It is intrinsic in them. It is inborn in them. Wisdom is inborn in all of us. That is why it is said in Buddhism, everybody is going to be enlightened one day. That means we have the capacity for enlightenment within us, within every one of us. And what is enlightenment? That is getting some light. It is a metaphorical saying, the dispelling of darkness, the dispelling of ignorance. Darkness inside means, inside the mind means ignorance. Dispelling ignorance means knowing what we have not been known. Now, just before we started this discussion, I was discussing with Sankar about anger and desire. For example, if he has a desire to get a motorbike or a push bike or a car, until he gets that, what he desires, the object, there's tension in him, there's stress in him, there's anxiety in him, whether he's going to, now, if he is interested in getting through examination, passing examination, until he passes the examination, there is tension in him. Then after passing examination, or after getting the object that he wanted, the motorbike or the push bike or the car, he feels happy. We think that he is happy because he got the car or the motorbike or the push bike, or because he passed the examination. But the reality is, his happiness is the disappearance of the desire for the good result of the examination, or the desire for the car or the motorbike or the push bike. As long as there is desire in us, there is tension in us. The happiness is the extinction of that desire for the moment, because when you realize what you really wanted, the desire is no more there, you are enjoying it. And desirelessness is the cause of happiness. And the basic teaching of the Buddha is, we are all happy because of our desire. Because of our desire means we have positive desire, we have a negative desire. We like something means it's a positive desire. We want to have it. We dislike something means it is a negative desire, desire not to have it. The desire to have and the desire not to have. To be or not to be, that is the question in Hamlet. We want to be rich. We don't want to be poor. Therefore, if we are poor, we are unhappy because we want to be rich. Once we become rich, we become happy because that desire is gone. These are the basic teaching of the Buddha. But how we are going to use that in our day-to-day life? Because liking, disliking and ignorance, they are the three basic requirements in our day-to-day life. Enlightenment means, according to Buddhism, the extinction of likes, dislikes and ignorance. In Buddha's words, Pali, they are called raga, dosa, moha. Raga means attachment to things that we like. Dosa means resentment of things that we dislike. Ignorance is not knowing what we really want to know. Although the disappearance of attachment, resentment and ignorance is going to make us enlightened, in our day-to-day life, we require those mental elements. We have to get what we like, what is desirable, what is good for us. We have to have a choice and to lead a day-to-day life. And we have to get rid of what we don't like, what is harmful to us. And we have to be content with our incapacities. We need to use our eye. Our eye can't see everything. We can't see atoms. Our ear can't hear every sound in this atmosphere. Because our capacity to know is limited. That means we have more ignorance than knowledge. That is our actual real life. Our life is dependent, the success of our life is dependent on our lives. That means on our desires, on our resentments, and on our ignorance. Now, if we are aware of what is happening inside the body with regard to the food that we take or drink that we take, it becomes the life very unpalatable, very unpleasant. The ignorance is there. Therefore, although the Buddha says that attachment is bad, resentment is bad, ignorance is bad, we have to get rid of to be really blissful. In our practical day-to-day life, how can we be Buddhist? By having likes, dislikes and ignorance. Buddha taught a middle path, a moderate way. We have to have likes, dislikes, desires. We have desire to get through the examination, pass the examination, to do a particular subject, to get a job, to build a house, or to get a house, to get things that you need. The desire has to be there. In our day-to-day life, we can use it moderately, realistically. Realistically means we have to make effort. Our efforts are limited. Our capacities are limited. Therefore, sometimes we may get it or we may not get it. Then that is really realistic, that is the reality of life. Then if we are facing that particular reality, then we are not going to be unhappy. Therefore, the young people must have the desire to pass examinations, to get jobs, to get property that they like and make effort for it. And also they must have the negative desire to get rid of things that they don't like. And also they must have indifference, non-attention to things that are of no use to them. That is called indifference, non-attention, non-knowing, not becoming aware, don't care it. But in real Buddhism, caring is the basis of all our spiritual achievement. That means love. Love your parents, love your father, mother, brother, sister, friends, love the people, love animals. And on love depends on all the virtues. But the love can be both harmful and also malefic and beneficial. Therefore, we have to find out a wise way of using our human nature, our basic human nature. What is the basic thing that we see? We have likes, we have attachment to certain things, we have resentment, dislikes, and we have ignorance. And we have to live with them wisely, intelligently, to make our life a success. For that particular purpose, it's not bad in learning books and reading literature on Buddhism, but that's not going to of much help to you in the real use of Buddhism. The real Buddhism is inside us. As I said, Buddhism is Buddhism. Buddhism is Wisdomism. Wisdom is inside us. Buddhism is using your own intelligence, your own wisdom. And naturally, they are all wise. Now, for example, traditional Buddhists, they have the 5 precepts, Panchasila. Abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from the abuse of desires. Kamism, kamis, kamatte in Sinhala. Desires. You use it intelligently and not telling lies, not taking intoxicant to get intoxicated. Those are the 5 basic discipline rules for normally lay Buddhists. They are not laid down by the Buddha, but they were traditional way of good behavior in the Indian society at that particular time. But those rules are not foreign to them. Do they kill? Are they hunters? You don't hunt, no? You are not fishermen. You are not killing animals. That discipline, that wisdom is inside you. You don't kill animals not because you fear going to hell. Your own wisdom says it is bad. In Bible it is said, do unto others what you wish them do unto you. Now, for example, I can get a quotation from Matthew, chapter 7, sentence 12. Do for others what you want them to do for you. This is the teaching of the Old Testament in a nutshell. You get the same idea in a different part of the Bible. In Luke, chapter 6, sentence 31. Treat others as you want them to treat you. Being kind-hearted, love, compassion, being reasonable. They don't kill because they don't want others to kill them. They don't hurt others because they don't hurt others because we don't like others hurting us. Therefore, they are born virtuous because they are born wise. They don't steal. Are you robbers or highway robbers? Stealing, robbing, house breaking? No. You don't do it. They don't like doing it also, stealing something. You go to the supermarket and steal something you don't like. That means they are really wise. And your desires, misuse of desires. Kama means michachara. Micha means abuse, misuse. Micha means false. The desires are good, but the desire can be used in a reasonable, moderate way, without misusing it. Then, do they tell lies to others to deceive others? You don't tell. No? Right. Do you take intoxicant to get intoxicated? To be senseless? No. That means they are born wise, they are born Buddhists, they are born virtuous. And that is practical Buddhism. Being wise. And why we gather them? If you are wise, if you are naturally virtuous, why we should gather? Because in a gathering like this, we can enrich our virtues. They become stronger because we live in a corrupted society. We live in a world with wicked people. We live in a world with terrorists. Whenever we listen to news, we see something very bad done by the people around us. We are living in a rotten society. That is why some virtuous people should get together. Here, some parents and children have got together, and that is going to strengthen our good nature, our virtuous nature. Not through teaching, but through examples. Now, for example, when the mother comes, he brings something, food and other things. We see the mother treating an elderly person and set an example. There is a saying in the Buddha, it comes in the Sahasravagga, Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti, Abhivadana Silissa Niccang Vadda Pachayano, Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayu Vanno Sukham Balam. When you treat elders respectfully, nicely, 4 powers are entitled to you. Chattaro Ayu, the lifespan becomes longer. You can live longer. Life becomes longer. Ayu, Vanno, your complexion, your pleasant appearance. The appearance becomes very pleasant because you are doing something good. Sukham, you become more and more comfortable in your life, not only physically but also mentally, both mentally and physically. Balam, Bala means the power. Wealth is power, education is power, physical strength is power. You get more and more power. This is a historical incident in which the Buddha uttered this stanza. There is a saying in the Dhammapada Katha, it is in several other books also translated into it, during the time of the Buddha. A child was to live only for 7 days. I am not going to tell the whole story. Then Buddha, they went to the Buddha, and the Buddha advised them, go and start chanting my sayings for 7 days continuously. I will send enough monks for you. And they started chanting those things. And at the end of the 7th day, the Buddha went and the deities came, and the boy who was to live only for 7 days lived for 120 years. That's a historical record. Ayu Balakumar, the priest was called Ayu. Digayu. Long life, 120 years. Then Buddha said that there is not only life, but so many other things you get it, and he referred to the 4 tales. Then, now I am telling you, when you see the elders are doing such good things, virtuous things, they also get that encouragement for it. That is why here coming together, talking nicely and treating each other nicely, we create an atmosphere. Now at home, you may be quarreling with the parents, you may be quarreling with brothers and sisters, but you here live in a very decent, very pleasant, very virtuous manner. Therefore, this particular gathering is for encouragement of our virtues, for the use of our wisdom. And that is the basic use of Buddhism. This you can't do by reading books. If you want to pass examination or pass particular test, you may have to do this as a subject for learning. But here we have gathered not for that academic study, but to live Buddhism, to make it a part and parcel of our life. Now I am talking all are listening, attentively. Attention means this is meditation. And compassionately, kindly, lovingly, politely, decently, listening. Those are virtues. Therefore, our gathering here is to see that Buddhism really is wisdomism, and that is living wisely. And we want the children to live wisely, virtuously, and that is not difficult because we are all born wise. Born wise means we are all born virtuous, and we are born with the capacity to be happy. I think that is enough for the day, and after that we can have a discussion among others. Right.